Okay, great. Thank you. I hope everybody is well. Thank y'all again for being with us. I I am in my car. I'm not driving. I'm out of town. I'm actually taking my daughter to school, dropping her off. Um, as always, this meeting is being recorded, and so just know that anything you said will be memorialized for into perpetuity. When you're not speaking, please remember to mute your calls. I do want to begin by recognizing that we've lost a couple of our loved judges since last time we were together. I do want to pause and recognize the loss of Judge John Payne, the probate court judge in Chattooga County, and he also served as a magistrate court judge there and was formerly a municipal court judge in Tryon. I also want to recognize the loss of Judge Joseph McGovern, municipal court judge in Glenville, and Miss Ginger Carter, deputy clerk, probate court in Stevens County. I know that they would all appreciate the thoughts and prayers to be extended on their behalf. As far as guests to our meeting today, we want to welcome Judge Cheryl Jolly. She'll be sitting in for Judge Jimmy Blanchard of the 10th Judicial Administrative District, and also want to welcome Jeff Davis, who is sitting in for Don Jones, President of the State Bar. This might be one of Jeff Davis's last acts before he departs onto greener pastures. Ms. Clanton, will you do the roll call for us, please?
I'll be happy to, Chief. Presiding Justice Namias.
I'm here.
Chief Judge Christopher McFadden. Vice Chief Brian Rickman.
Here.
Judge Walter Davis. President Brian Americk.
Here.
President-elect Judge Padgett.
Here.
Judge Jeffrey Kite.
I'm here.
Judge Melanie Cross.
I'm here.
Judge Sizemore.
I'm here.
Great. Chief Judge Asha Jackson.
I'm here.
Chief Judge Christopher Brasher.
Here.
Judge Fletcher Sams. Judge Van Pelt. Saw Judge Van Pelt earlier.
I'm here, Ms. Clanton. Sorry.
We got you, Judge. Thank you. Chief Judge Sarah Wall.
Here.
Chief Judge Jeff Bagley. Judge Cheryl Jolly for Judge Blanchard.
Here on behalf of Judge Blanchard.
Thank you, Judge. President Wes Taylor.
Here.
President-elect Al Wong.
Here.
President Lisa Jones.
I'm here.
Great. Judge Price will not be with us today. President Kelly Wolf.
I'm here, but I'm going to be hopping on and off, so Carrie can cover for me if she needs to.
All right. Thank you, Judge. President-elect Carter.
I'm here.
President TJ Hudson.
I'm here, Mrs. C.
Judge Quinn Casper.
I'm here.
Thank you, Judge. President Willie Weaver. We saw him earlier. And President-elect Lori Duff.
Present.
And I know Dawn Jones is not with us today, but Jeff will be presenting her report.
I'm here.
Chief, that completes the roll.
And Fletcher Sams.
Fletcher Sams?
Yes.
Okay,
Judge
great.
Sams, thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. I believe the minutes have been circulated in advance of this call. If you have them, if you've had a chance to review them, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
All right, is that Judge Brasher?
Yes, sir.
Moved to approve. Is there a second?
Second, Judge Casper.
All right, thank you. Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. Those minutes will stand approved. as always, I'll try to make good use of our time and not try to keep you any longer than necessary. As you know, we're winding down on the existing judicial emergency order that was issued for August. It expires on its own terms on September 10. In looking at what I would say could be anticipated in the next judicial emergency order, I think there are two things primarily that we would want to add to the existing terms and also modify accordingly. The first thing would be consistent with the last Judicial Council call that we had, where we kind of reached consensus on what would be the format for the local committees that would plan for the actual jury trials. We actually would like to roll those provisions into this next emergency order, either within the body itself or as an attachment. But long and short of it is, the next order will set up the judicial local committees convened by the chief judge of the circuit, and those committees be county specific, consistent with what was agreed upon at our last meeting. And the purpose of those local committees would come up with the final plans for going green on jury trials. The second piece is grand juries. We've talked about this almost every call that we've had. I'm feeling pressed. I think you all are feeling pressed even more about the need to get jury trials and grand jury proceedings started. My hope and expectation would be that in this next order, we would open up grand jury proceedings on a discretionary basis. And consistent with our conversations in the past, we would maintain the hold on the statutory speedy trial demands and related clocks, so that you won't be overwhelmed by the floodgates as they come open there. But that's one of the big things that we want to do. Let me ask y'all, I got a couple of questions in this regard. Are there any circuits that you are aware of that have been taking advantage of the exception provision in our orders that allow for grand jury proceedings under extraordinary circumstances?
Chief Justice, this is Fletcher Sams. We have one county in the Griffin Circuit that's done so.
Okay.
And it's been very
Anybody
successful.
else? Well, yeah, that's the other part of it. Is you have any experiences you can share with us in that regard?
Well, it was amazing that there were no complaints, and almost all the grand jurors showed up that had previously been selected. So that was very encouraging to us.
Okay, so we can say that we've tested this to some degree. Is there anybody else who has been taking advantage of that exception provision?
In the 7th District, Mr. Chief Justice, I know Haralson County has, and the Catoosa County here in Lookout Mountain Circuit has, and it has been executed without any problems to my knowledge.
Okay.
And Chief, this is Judge Kite in 1st District. I'm aware of the Brunswick Circuit a few months ago doing one, and I think
Sure.
Waycross Circuit, one of our counties, Coffee County, did one just recently. I've heard of no issues arising out of those.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. And so as we move forward in that area, there are a couple of things that we're going to be working on. We still haven't given up on the idea of remote grand juries. We've gotten some legal research in that has identified a couple of issues that we think need to be resolved. A couple of those issues can be resolved, we think, by working with the governor's office on inserting some provisions in the governor's emergency order, largely dealing with the ability to give oaths remotely, and also dealing with the in-person requirements that exist in our case law or in the statutes. So to the extent that they're applicable, there's some gray area there, but to the extent that that's a question, we would like to get that taken off the table. And so we have a grand jury report that's near final stages. We have seen the draft. I have seen the draft of the report. Our court has seen it, and we hope to be able to get that out to you shortly. That will help as you move forward in developing your grand jury plans. And so those will be what we'll be doing there. So as we move towards that, again, we're pressed to go green on grand juries. We're pressed to go green on jury trials. I would love to be able to open up jury trials in October. So as you set up your local committees, the goal would be able to have those plans formulated and sent to AOC by October. Judge Amaro mentioned on our last judicial call the idea of maybe doing some type of public service announcements related to jury trials. The task force will be and is working in conjunction with the state bar on some type of PR campaign. It will also involve raising funds and identifying funds for that. But we do have to convince our communities and do some marketing in advance of opening up juries. So I think that's a good idea. Trying to think what else. PJ, you have anything to add that I may have missed so far?
No, just to clarify though, in the idea of opening up grand juries and then opening up juries, you know, they would be opened up, grand juries, by the September 10th or 11th order and jury trials by the October order. But in practice, that means you got to have your ducks in a row to put out, you know, start putting out summonses around that time. So you're not going to actually get grand juries in until, you know, mid-October at the earliest, and juries until mid-November. So, you know, dealing with some of the issues, including transmission rates and stuff like that, you know, it's a little delayed after the orders open up the process.
So the current order says that summons cannot be issued. In the September 11 order, it should say that summons will be able to be issued. So there's a wind up necessary to get that happening. You might be able to take advantage of this little window of time and start getting wound up. I also want to ask, in connection to the prospect of remote grand juries, if we get these issues cleared out, I'd like to know if there are any circuits or any courts that would be interested in experimenting with remote grand juries. If you have an interest now, you can raise your hand. If you want to let me know offline, that's fine too. But I'm going to be looking for a couple of volunteers to lead the way in that space.
Chief, I'll give it a go.
Judge Amaro?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll see if we can get moving in that direction.
Thank you, Judge. Anybody else?
Chief, this is Chris Brasher. We would be interested in trying that too.
Great, excellent.
And this is Melanie Cross in the Tifton Circuit. I'll be happy to give it a go as well.
Yeah, and I love the phrase "give it a go" because that's really what it is. There are no preconceived notions here. It's seeing what we can do. Okay, with that, I think that covers all that I had for you. I will turn it over to Judge LeGreur unless anybody has any questions or concerns about anything I just stated.
Thanks, Chief. Not a huge report. We have sent on the reports on both local committees, grand juries, and criminal juries for your review. We have our first PSA subcommittee meeting on Wednesday with members of the State Bar. We're fortunate to have Judge Hodges on the committee too, because he was president of the State Bar when they did some public service presentations about the need for lawyers in the state. And so he's already got a checklist that we're working through. I believe Jeff Davis hopefully will be joining us too. He and I are playing phone tag. So we should have a report to you, at least a preliminary report, by the end of the week.
Okay.
And the civil subcommittee should have its report finished up today or tomorrow.
Great. Thank you, Judge, as always. With that, let's go around the table. Chief Judge McFadden for the Court of Appeals. Judge McFadden.
Chief, I know he's on the Zoom call, or he was.
I thought of that. We'll get him back in a second then. I don't think Judge Davis was on the call.
Yes, he is.
Oh, he's joined. Okay, Judge Davis.
Nothing to report. Thanks.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Judge American Council Superior Court judges.
Well, Chief, just to the extent that I haven't already, thank you publicly for your participation in our town hall. I want to do that. It was well received by our membership, and we really appreciate you and Justice Namias being with us.
Thank you for the opportunity. I enjoyed the visit, and hopefully we got some questions answered, and I certainly got some input that I thought was valuable. So thank you.
Thank you.
Judge Taylor with the state court judges.
Only that I'm happy to report that Judge Ben Richardson of Muskogee County is going to be our liaison with that PSA subcommittee. So okay. We're happy about that.
My buddy Ben, good, thank you. Yeah. Judge Jones, juvenile court judges.
No report. Thank you, Mr. Chief Justice.
Thank you, Judge. Judge Kelly Walk, probate court. She said she might have to go.
We have no report. This is Carrie Carter.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Judge TJ Hudson, magistrate court judges.
No report, Chief Justice.
Judge Willie Weaver, council municipal court judges.
Judge Weaver was on the bench and he was kind of hopping on and off. This is Judge Duff, the president-elect. As far as I know, we have no report.
Okay, thank you. Mr. President, Jeff Davis.
I don't have a report except to follow up from what Judge LaGrua said. We are trying to get together on the PSAs. Many of you will remember the I think extraordinarily well-received PSAs that we did on behalf of the bar a couple years ago. We are trying to do something to educate the public about jury service, and certainly in a time of the pandemic, the need to show up for a jury summons. And we're going to be working with the Judicial Council to try to give you some ideas, resources, and try to make that a reality. So just wanted you to know that the State Bar is on board and we'll do everything we can to help with those PSAs, knowing how important they are. And thank you for all your support.
Thank you, Jeff. And we do appreciate that. Ms. Clanton, AOC.
AOC remains fully functional. Let me know how we can help you. And that's all.
Okay. Council of Accountability Court Judges, Judge Gosselin or Ms. Taylor Jones.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chief Justice. This is Taylor Jones. I don't think Judge Gosselin is with us today, but we have nothing new to report. Thank you.
All right. And Commission on Dispute Resolution, Mr. Trey Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Justice. We do not have anything to report today.
All right, thank you. And I think I did see Ms. Tina Robinson, Clerk of Courts.
Hi, Chief Justice. I'm not sure if Mike Holloman, our Executive Director, is on, but I was elected the clerk of the president of the Clerks Council. So it's really an honor to be here. And the clerks did meet last week, and they're anxious to collaborate with all of the judges in the various districts to begin jury trials safely. So that is our report.
Is this your first Judicial Council meeting, Ms. Robinson?
It sure is.
Well, we're glad to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Greer, Commission on Professionalism.
Hi, good afternoon, Chief Justice. The Commission had a special call meeting on Friday, and the Commission approved some grant criteria in a grant process, and we hope to have that process open for a test trial run by the end of September. So I will keep everyone posted in case you'd like to send something our way. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hines, Council of Court Administrators.
No report today, Chief Justice. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Ashworth?
No report today, Chief Justice. Thank you.
Thank you. And is Mr. Boring on the call?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chief Justice. This is Courtney Veal. I'm the Deputy Director over at the JQC. I'm reporting for Mr. Boring, and we have nothing new to report.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Beal.
Thank you.
All right.
Chief,
That was a real, yes.
Chief, Judge McFadden's on the phone.
Okay. Thank you. Judge McFadden, did you have anything to report?
Nothing to report, Chief Justice.
Okay, great. So that was a pretty concise meeting. Don't want to rush things. Is there anything that we're missing that we asked for volunteers for that y'all have since thought, yes, I'll do? Yeah, I'll pause, make sure we haven't missed anything.
Chief, it's a PJ. Just one thing we might, I don't know what the drafting process will be for the next extension order, but I don't know if we're going to have a meeting next Monday because it's a holiday, but we might send it around in draft just to get any comments before it has to go out on Friday, right?
Yeah, and I think the thought would be to try to have a meeting on Tuesday. What's that? The
4th.
The 4th?
8th.
The 8th.
Tuesday the 8th.
Okay.
So let's anticipate a meeting, just to go over a draft of the order. Hopefully we can have that out in front to you. It may come to you on the holiday, but let's shoot for the 8th. And if we have to move it back a day, we might have that as an option as well. As always, I can't express enough how grateful I am, and we all are, for the cooperative efforts as we navigate this journey. We won't be experts in this until we're completely done with it and look back and learn from our mistakes and also from our successes. But I will guarantee you that through this effort, we've had a lot of successes working together, and I'm grateful. So thank y'all. Continue to remain safe and keep those around you safe.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.